Have you ever paused to wonder why so many vibrant, seemingly healthy seniors quietly fade away before their 82nd birthday? It's a question that puzzles families, confounds physicians, and haunts retirement communities, but the answer isn't lurking in cholesterol charts, heart scans, or bone density tests. Instead, it's something far more profound, far more silent, and almost never discussed openly: a gradual disconnection from the simple, life-affirming pleasures our bodies were built to give and receive. Dr. James, a specialist who has devoted over 3 decades to men's health, calls it the silent epidemic of aging. He's watched hundreds of patients march faithfully through annual checkups, boast impeccable lab results, and still lose their spark long before the calendar marks their 82nd year. What they all shared was not a hidden disease, but a fading relationship with their own bodies, a kind of resignation that physical joy is somehow off-limits after a certain age. Imagine living under the persistent whisper that intimacy, affectionate touch, or even a moment of solo pleasure belongs only to the young. Society tells us to close that chapter, as though the body's capacity for delight expires with the last gray hair. So one by one, seniors shelve the very experiences that once made them feel alive: a gentle hand on a partner's arm, the warmth of skin against skin, the quiet thrill of self-exploration. What seems like modest restraint slowly becomes total withdrawal. And the body notices. Without regular stimulation, blood flow to critical organs, brain, heart, even the immune system begins to ebb. Neural circuits wired for pleasure grow sluggish. Hormones slip out of balance. Sleep unravels, moods darken, and energy drains away. Over months and years, that unchecked decline leaves seniors not just less content, but more vulnerable to depression, dementia, and chronic illness. Yet there is hope, a simple, natural antidote that requires no prescriptions, no gym memberships, and no exotic diets. It's a fact of biology that our bodies, even in our later decades, hunger for touch and sensation. Reawakening that connection, whether through meaningful intimacy with a partner or nurturing solo practice, recharges the heart, reignites neural pathways, and floods the mind with endorphins. It isn't a frivolous luxury, it's a pillar of resilience. Dr. James promises that rediscovering this quiet power can help seniors not only live longer, but live more fully, staying mentally sharp, emotionally buoyant, and physically strong well past 82. In the next few minutes, he'll guide you through the gentle steps to reclaim that joy, creating a safe space, learning to listen to your body's whispers, and nurturing the small sparks of sensation that, over time, rebuild the foundations of health. So before you chalk up aging to an inevitable slide into frailty, consider this: the secret to a vibrant, independent later life might lie in the very pleasure you've been taught to abandon. Stick around, because what you learn next could change everything you thought you knew about growing old. We've been sold a comforting lie about aging. Society wraps it in phrases like aging gracefully or slowing down with dignity, but behind these soothing words is a deeper truth, one that most people never hear until it's too late. The truth? Aging isn't just about wrinkles or sore joints. For many, it's about losing the very spark that makes life worth living. And no one warns you that this spark dims not because of age, but because of disconnection from your own body, your own desires, and the joys you were told to outgrow. Dr. James, a seasoned health expert who has worked with thousands of older adults, calls this the forgotten crisis of aging. He's seen firsthand how people in their 60s and 70s slowly stop listening to what their bodies are trying to tell them. They mistake silence for peace, numbness for calm, and eventually, they give up on one of life's most essential energies: pleasure. Not just physical intimacy with a partner, but the broader sense of touch, connection, warmth, and self-awareness. These aren't luxuries. They're biological necessities. Yet, we are taught sometimes subtly, sometimes blatantly that once you pass a certain age, these needs become taboo, immature, or even shameful. Here's the shocking part: losing touch with this aspect of yourself doesn't just make you feel old. It makes you old. Dr. James reveals that when we ignore the body's natural need for physical and emotional stimulation, it sets off a silent cascade of health problems. Blood flow slows. Hormones decline. Sleep quality crashes. Memory fogs. Energy vanishes. And yet, no one links these issues back to the root cause, because talking about aging and pleasure in the same sentence still makes people uncomfortable. But what if reclaiming this part of yourself was the key to more than just feeling better? What if it could actually extend your life? Dr. James has helped countless older adults reignite this inner vitality, not through medication, but by teaching them to reconnect with their bodies in simple, natural ways. The results are astonishing: brighter moods, stronger immune systems, better sleep, even improved memory. These aren't miracles, they're the body's natural response to being fully alive again. So if you've ever wondered why aging feels like a slow fade, maybe the real reason isn't age at all. Maybe it's that no one ever told you the truth: you don't have to give up on joy. You just have to remember how to feel it again. And that journey can start right now. It starts quietly. You tell yourself you're just too tired, too busy, or too old. You stop caring about the little things that once brought a spark: holding hands, feeling the warmth of touch, the sensation of being close to someone, even the comfort of your own skin. You write it off as normal aging. But beneath this quiet surrender, something dangerous is happening. Losing connection with physical pleasure doesn't just make life dull, it slowly damages your health in ways most people don't even realize. Dr. James, a renowned wellness expert, has spent decades studying the subtle but powerful effects of aging on the human body. His conclusion is shocking: when people ignore or suppress their natural need for physical connection, the body responds with distress. Pleasure, yes, even the sensual kind, isn't just a bonus in life. It's biological fuel. And when we run on empty, we pay a heavy price. The signs are everywhere: fatigue that doesn't go away, frequent colds, insomnia, brain fog, anxiety, even chronic pain. Most people chase treatments for these symptoms: vitamins, medications, therapy, never realizing that the root cause might be something as simple and powerful as lost physical connection. Pleasure activates the body's most healing systems. It boosts circulation, balances hormones, floods the brain with feel-good chemicals, and even helps regulate blood pressure and immune response. But when you stop engaging with your body, these systems start to shut down. It's like leaving a beautiful instrument in the corner to collect dust. Eventually, it loses its tune. And here's the most tragic part: many people suffer in silence because they think it's selfish or inappropriate to want this kind of joy after a certain age. They believe pleasure is only for the young. They don't realize that it's actually a lifeline for everyone, especially as we get older. Dr. James has seen people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s come back to life, not through extreme diets or fitness regimens, but by simply rekindling the lost connection with their own bodies. They smile more, sleep better, breathe deeper. Their skin glows. Their posture straightens. They look and feel years younger. So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly felt something in your body that made you smile? This isn't about chasing youth or indulging in fantasy. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that was never meant to fade. The desire for touch, intimacy, and physical pleasure isn't just natural, it's essential. And when you lose it, you're not just giving up on pleasure. You're giving up on vitality, resilience, and even longevity. Aging is inevitable, but how we experience it is not. Unfortunately, far too many people unknowingly fall victim to harmful myths about growing older, myths that quietly rob them of energy, vitality, and joy. These beliefs are not only outdated, they're dangerous. They shape how we see ourselves, how we treat our bodies, and ultimately, how we live the final chapters of our lives. Let's start with one of the biggest lies: after a certain age, you should slow down and take it easy. While rest is important, this mindset often leads to inactivity, isolation, and a rapid decline in both mental and physical health. The truth? Movement is medicine. Seniors who stay physically active, whether it's walking, dancing, swimming, or yoga, maintain sharper minds, stronger bones, and better moods. Slowing down isn't the goal, moving smarter is. Another harmful belief: sexuality and intimacy are only for the young. This myth cuts deep, leaving many older adults feeling invisible or ashamed of their natural desires. But here's the truth: sexual expression doesn't have an expiration date. In fact, maintaining a connection to one's sensual self has been linked to better cardiovascular health, reduced stress, and increased happiness. Whether alone or with a partner, pleasure remains a vital part of being human at any age. Let's not forget the myth that says, forgetfulness is just part of aging. Yes, some cognitive decline is normal, but that doesn't mean it's inevitable or irreversible. Believing this myth causes many to stop challenging their brains. But neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, doesn't vanish with age. Seniors who engage in learning, puzzles, reading, or even new hobbies often experience a surge in clarity, confidence, and creativity. And perhaps the most damaging myth of all: older people are a burden. This insidious idea creeps into the minds of even the most vibrant seniors. It causes them to withdraw, stop asking for help, and suffer in silence. But the truth is, with age comes wisdom, perspective, and emotional resilience. Older adults offer immense value to families, communities, and society at large. They are not a burden, they are a blessing. So how do we fight back against these myths? With knowledge, boldness, and a new vision of aging that celebrates life instead of fearing decline. It's time to rewrite the narrative. Aging isn't the end of the story, it's a powerful new chapter, filled with opportunities for growth, love, and reinvention. Don't let outdated ideas drain your spark. Embrace your years with curiosity and courage. The truth is, life doesn't stop at 60, 70, or 80, it evolves. And that evolution can be just as exciting, passionate, and meaningful as anything that came before. What if everything you thought about aging was wrong? What if feeling tired, stiff, uninspired, or even disconnected from your body wasn't a natural part of growing older, but rather the result of neglecting one vital truth: that your body and mind still crave joy, movement, and connection. Introducing the Restoration Method, a breakthrough approach designed specifically for people over 60 who want to reclaim their vitality, reignite their passion for life, and reconnect with their bodies in ways they never thought possible. For too long, society has told us that aging is about loss of energy, mobility, desire, even identity. But the Restoration Method flips that narrative on its head. Instead of focusing on decline, it empowers older adults to reawaken the senses, revitalize the body, and restore the spirit. So, what is the Restoration Method? At its core, this method is about reconnecting with your physical pleasure, emotional well-being, and inner life force. It's not a one-size-fits-all program. It's a gentle, yet powerful framework that combines body awareness, self-touch, movement, breath work, and emotional release to help individuals reconnect with parts of themselves that may have been forgotten or shut down. Many people over 60 report feeling a kind of numbness, not just physically, but emotionally. They stop prioritizing their needs. They forget what it feels like to be in awe of their own body. And tragically, they come to believe that this is simply how aging is supposed to feel. But it's not. And that's where the restoration method comes in. By engaging in intentional touch, slow and mindful movement, and guided practices that encourage self-compassion, older adults begin to feel alive again. Blood flow improves. Joints loosen. Libido returns. Sleep deepens. Confidence surges. And perhaps most importantly, the joy of being in one's own body is rediscovered. This method doesn't rely on medication or quick fixes. It doesn't require a gym membership or grueling routines. In fact, many of the practices can be done from the comfort of your own home in silence, in stillness, or with music that moves you. And the results? They're extraordinary. Men and women who thought their best days were behind them are now reporting profound shifts, increased vitality, restored intimacy in relationships, decreased pain, deeper emotional connection, and a renewed sense of purpose. The restoration method is not just about physical health, it's about wholeness. It honors every wrinkle, every scar, and every memory etched into the body as part of a life fully lived, and it invites you to keep living with vibrancy, curiosity, and joy. Aging isn't something to fear. It's an invitation to slow down, tune in, and come home to yourself. If you've ever wondered whether there's more waiting for you, more connection, more pleasure, more energy, the answer is yes. The restoration method shows you how to find it. Because your life didn't end at 60. In many ways, it's just beginning. Imagine waking up every day with energy humming through your veins, your mind sharp, and your heart full of joy no matter your age. What if the key to unlocking this vibrant life isn't a miracle drug or grueling workout, but something far simpler, something you've carried with you all along? The silent epidemic stealing years from seniors. Most people assume aging means inevitable decline, weaker bones, fading memory, and dwindling energy. But what if the real thief isn't time itself but disconnection? Dr. James, a men's health specialist with 30 years of experience, reveals a startling truth: many seniors don't die from disease, they fade from neglect. Not neglect by others, but from abandoning a fundamental pillar of vitality, physical pleasure. Society whispers a cruel lie: you're too old for that. So, people retreat from touch, from intimacy, even from their own bodies. Yet science shows this withdrawal triggers a silent cascade. Diminished blood flow to organs and muscles, accelerating aging. Dulled neural pathways, making memory and mood falter. Hormonal imbalances, sapping energy and resilience. The result? A body that withers faster than it should. The revolutionary truth: pleasure equals longevity. Here's the game changer: your body is wired to thrive on pleasure at any age. Studies prove that sexual expression, yes, even solo, after 60, boosts circulation, nourishing your heart and brain. Floods your system with endorphins, fighting stress and insomnia. Triggers testosterone release, preserving muscle and bone density. Stimulates neuroplasticity, keeping your mind agile. But the magic goes deeper. Pleasure isn't just physical, it's emotional armor. Patients who reconnect with their bodies report renewed self-worth: I still deserve joy. Deeper confidence: my body is still alive, still mine. A ripple effect, better sleep, healthier eating, and even stronger social bonds. The restoration method, your blueprint to reignite vitality. You don't need to chase the past. Instead, embrace a new kind of intimacy, one tailored to your body now. Here's how. Prepare your sanctuary. Set the mood, soft lighting, comfortable temperature, no interruptions. Keep lubricants nearby, friction changes with age, this is normal. Breathe and unwind. Start with deep breaths. Let go of tension, guilt, or expectations. This isn't a performance, it's a homecoming. Rediscover your body. Explore with curiosity, not judgment. Trace your collarbone, thighs, stomach. Notice tingles, warmth, or quiet comfort, all are victories. Slow down, savor. Rushing is the enemy. Let pleasure build like a sunrise, not a lightning strike. If arousal fades, no failure, just breathe and begin again. Celebrate the afterglow. Post-pleasure, linger in gratitude. Your body just gave to you, honor that. Smashing the myths that hold you back. Why do so many seniors resist this? Blame these toxic myths. I'm too old for this. Truth, your need for touch never expires. It evolves. Solo pleasure is shameful. Truth, self-care is healthcare. I should conserve my energy. Truth, pleasure generates energy. Your invitation to a fuller future. Aging isn't about fading, it's about focusing your fire. The patients who thrive aren't those with perfect genes, they're the ones who refuse to let society dim their light. So ask yourself, do you want to just survive or thrive? Start tonight. Light a candle. Breathe. Whisper to your body, you still matter. Then let your hands remind you what your heart already knows. Your best years aren't behind you, they're waiting to be claimed.